This is Sure is Good. Welcome or welcome back to our live. We are doing lives every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Robbie, for anyone who's new.
And I'm Sandy Cooper.
All right, so we have another Q&A for you guys. These are some questions about being a, what would you call it, a good cook, or what would you call it?
So some of the key things you need to be to like be able to cook well. Right? You don't have to be a fancy chef or anything like that, but there are some basic things you need to know about cooking, not just in order to be like a cook in general, not just be able to follow recipes.
Yeah, so she's not talking about being a professional chef. We're talking about the average person cooking in their kitchen on a daily basis, or someone who wants to like throw parties and host and cook for their guests, stuff like that. Some nice tasty meals that have flavor and it tastes good. Like you want, people to like your food and you want to like your food. That's what we're talking about.
Make healthy food.
And healthy meals at that. Even though we also don't eat the healthiest, but we have swapped out a lot of unhealthy options for really healthy options. So this is really to plant the seeds to people who are starting on their health journey or people who are thinking about changing their diets. How you can do that and have things that are palatable, meaning things that taste really good to you. So, because we both changed our diets. She's pescatarian and I am vegan. So, and we both changed our diets a few years ago. So we've been on our journeys for years now. So the first question is, what do you believe is the most important quality someone needs to become a good cook? So again, this is just the average person learning how to cook in a way that is delicious not only to them but to others as well. Did you hear that question?
Yeah.
You want to answer it?
Okay, so in order to be a good cook,
Yeah.
so the basic is you want to know how to pick foods. You want to know how to clean them and how to season them, right? And what to pair them with and what not to pair them with. So um, what's really important is being able to do those things and then learning how each one tastes, including like the seasons separately from the foods. So once you learn those things, then you can take things up from there and you can, build and just, you can figure out from there very easily, like what goes with what not to put with what. But that's the base. Those are the main things you have to learn. You have to learn how to pick your foods. You have to learn how to clean them. You have to learn how to season them and how the different seasonings taste, how different foods taste, separate from seasonings.
Yeah, so I'm going to give my take on this question. What do you believe is the most important quality someone needs to become a good cook? That's the question. I think I agree with everything she's saying. And just for the people in the comments, hello to everyone who joined. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask questions. We're talking about the quality of being a good cook for those who are new or someone who's changing their diet, how you could just make your food taste good. So what she said, I agree with. I am vegan, so what I do to make my foods taste good, regardless if I'm using salt or not, I will use things that are similar to salt, like things like lime or lemon, what are the olives, things that are fermented are good too. They already have salt, so you won't need to add extra salt. I like kimchi. Um, what they call artichokes, different things that like come already, pickles, stuff like that. Um, and also for me, I'll use sauces, but it's very rare that I use sauces. I usually make my own sauces. Keep myself as kind of like organic and healthy as possible, but I will go to the store and buy a sauce, a vegan sauce with no problem. It's just not often that I use them. For me, I'll make like a sauce using like avocado, and I'll season that up with the lime, a little bit of salt. And I always use sea salt. I don't use the table salt. Always sea salt. Celtic sea salt is what I recently got into, because Celtic sea salt actually has a lot more minerals and nutrients than regular sea salt, like Mediterranean or any type of regular sea salt. So what else? So I would say like definitely seasoning up your foods with like lime, lemon, um, and then like I said, I like to use olives as well, and a little bit of Celtic sea salt. Um, and make sure you guys add some at least some salt to your meals, because if you don't, you are depriving your body of the nutrient that the salt comes with. So I would say, what else do I do? Oh, herbs. Use herbs like oregano, parsley, fresh things. When you use fresh stuff like onions, garlic, bell peppers, those immediately bring like really nice flavors to your meals. So really like go crazy with these things. Like that's why they make them in seasoning form, like the in the bottles, and they dry it out, make it and put it in bottles. That's why they do that. So people don't know, when you buy seasonings, you're literally just buying herbs and like vegetables, just dried. I would say, where they mix it up. What do they call it? Like they mince it up, or like they make it really small chop. They make it really small so that you can just sprinkle it over your food. That's really what that is. And you can also just get it fresh from the grocery store. If you have a garden, you grow in your own garden. So I like myself tasting as fresh as possible, so I'll go for like the seasonings, the dry seasonings, but also like the fresh produce and herbs for sure. So that's my thing about being a good cook. Put some seasonings in your food, okay? And that's what you can do to season up your food to make it taste good, because that's where the flavor is. I don't think people know that. Like, flavoring is really just plants. So season up your stuff with plants. The next question is, actually, you said something that I want to touch on. You said, um, I wish I remember just now. It was something good that you said.
So I want to say something about what you said. Mm-hmm. So back to what I said about knowing about what to season, because a lot of foods can take a lot of seasonings, and then there are some foods that just you really just don't need seasonings with, like if I'm making pasta, if I'm making like a macaroni and cheese, I'm not using a bunch of seasonings. I might use some seasoning salt and some smoked paprika over top, and that's about it. You have the cheese is going to give the flavor, and you're going to use your milky butter. Mm-hmm. Okay, and when it comes to steak, the best steak I've ever had, okay, and salt and pepper. Right? We always laugh and joke about, oh, white people just season everything with salt and pepper. When I tell you the best steak you can make is salt and pepper, I mean that. Steak is not something, unless you want to make it like more of a barbecued, type thing. But just for like a regular, give me a regular good steak on a plate, onions, salt and pepper is the only seasoning, and you got a great steak. Unless you want to buy some steak from some cheap store where it don't taste like steak anyway. But if you buy, a regular good, quality steak, decent quality steak, salt and pepper. If you're gonna make something like a pot roast, now here we go. You're not just doing salt and pepper. Now you're using, you know, onion powder, garlic powder. You're using, a bunch of other seasonings there. So that's what I'm saying. You have to know, because even though you may use steak or, some other type of beef, um, the dish itself, the taste of the dish itself is going to require different seasonings. So again, you want to know what to put where, what's going to make what taste like what, and that's what you're gonna that's how you become a good cook. knowing what to use, when to use, learn to use some wines. Know the difference between using a cooking wine and using it in a regular wine. There's a big difference there. Know the difference between using those two things.
Okay. So the next question we have here is, how can someone develop a well-trained palate, and why is it so important in cooking?
So your palate is okay. So a well trained palate um, is going to be so okay. A well trained palate is when your taste buds you can identify the way things taste, and your palate is basically through your taste buds. However, when you are a good cook and you know about seasoning foods, you can just smell. You can just smell seasonings and you can tell if they're mixed. You can tell if they're just a straight seasoning. You can tell what they're going to taste good on and what they're not good on, what they're not going to taste good on just from smell. A good cook, a chef, a good cook can just eat something and tell you, okay, this, and that. This has onion, it has this, it has this, it has that. It can tell you different things that were used to season food. So again, that all goes back to no different seasons. When you cook something, use one season. Make a steak, use one season, see how it tastes. Add another season, see how it tastes. Add some other things. Add some oregano. Oregano, salt, pepper, and oregano on a steak. Oh my god. Put that, slice that up into cubes, put it into a wrap, and add some cheese. You have a delicious um, quesadilla. So this is how this is how you become a really good cook, knowing, what the different spices taste like.
All right. So I'm going to answer the question, and I'm gonna read the question one more time. How can someone develop a well-trained palate, and why is it so important in cooking? All right. So if you're a person who's going to be cooking, especially if you're cooking for other people, the reason why you want to have a well-trained palate is because people don't like nasty food, so you don't want to give someone that you think is good but is not good to anyone else. And that's why you want to train your palate, like exactly the way that she said it. Try out different things, try different seasons, try out what can it taste good together versus what does not taste good together, what comes together in good textures and taste versus what does not. So play around, experiment, mix a few things that make sense. Make it make sense. There's certain things that you should not be mixing. Don't mix it.
Sometimes things don't make sense, but they work out. Like don't put sugar on tuna fish. Do not do that. It's not good.
I heard people put sugar on rice. I don't agree with that
not
either.
on tuna fish.
And not on rice either. Some people do. Look, if you think sugar on rice is good, that's good for you. Not me. Not over here. That's weird. But anyway. Anyway.
Rice pudding, yeah.
Rice pudding. That's a dessert. All right. Unless you make it to dessert, let's not make rice a sweet and savory thing for dinner. Either it's a dessert or it's a savory meal. Pick one, which not both at the same time. But anyway, so to train your palate, when you're serving people, you want to make sure you're doing a good job. You don't want to be the one that people saying you can't cook because your food tastes nasty.
Don't be the one to get kicked out the barbecue now.
Or just coming over to the dinner and no one invites you to the dinner anymore because they said next time just bring plates because your cooking is terrible. So yeah, that's why. And then another reason why is because if you go to any restaurants, you don't want to be rude and disrespectful that you're not used to the flavors of some different cultures food, or any type of food, because you're not used to that. Some people can eat the same things all the time. That's what they want. But if you want to join festivities with your friends or try different things, you're gonna have to develop your palate if you want to go out to restaurants and try different things. You're gonna have to. So you're gonna, I would say, to train your palate. certain small things at a time, little things at a time. Especially if you're someone who's used to eating the same things all the time, you're not used to having like a broad spectrum of flavors in your diet. Then definitely take your time, and if you don't like something, learn to keep your mouth shut. Don't really say anything, especially if someone who's used to eating a very bland way or a very specific way that's always remains the same, even if it's not bland. So, yeah, I would say that's what I have to contribute in terms of when you're cooking for someone versus when you're eating someone else's food. That's two reasons why you want to train your palate and why it would be important to train your palate. Um, Another question is, let me see if there's any questions in the comment section. Let's see. You believe it. Okay. Next.
Right? How do colors in ingredients and finished dishes
That's
help
not the
you
next
judge?
question.
We're on three. We're on four.
Three. We're on number three.
Okay.
What role does your senses
Your sense of smell play with preparing and seasoning foods?
Okay, she kind of explained that a little bit, but
Yeah, so I can go back over that. So when you're seasoning foods, okay, so one big thing. Now there's a difference. There's a difference in um like when you smell things, you can taste it. You know, we do that a lot. Like you smell things, you're like, oh my God, this doesn't smell good. I can't eat it. You know, which is really funny because there's some things like people love chitlins and oh my God, I can't if you can't some people if you can't get it past your nose, you can't it's not coming in my mouth. Can't get it in my mouth.
yeah.
Okay. But chitlins, people love chitlins and they smell so disgusting. There's so many things out here that look so disgusting and you can't get it past your eyes, you can't get it in your mouth. But when you can smell things and identify the spices and herbs in them, you know, that can help you get it into your mouth. You know, like this is well seasoned, right? And like I said, the other way around, when you can eat things and taste and be able to identify the seasonings that went into it. Like I can go to Red Lobster and come home and cook whatever they make because I know the different seasonings, right? I know how seasonings taste. I say, okay, they have wine in this. This has this, and that, and I can go home and replicate that dish. I can go to most restaurants and replicate the dishes. I don't have to go, okay, Alexa, give me that recipe for this. I can identify them. Also, it also helps me like when I go to a restaurant and I look at the menu and I see what they have in it, they seasoned it with, I know, okay, I can eat that or I can't eat that. Not because I have any allergies, but I already know like it's, what kind of taste to expect from it. You know, but you also have when you smell things, you can also colors. Number one, colors are going to tell you if you know foods, whether they're fresh or if they're not fresh. If it's rotten, if it's rotting, um, the taste. Sometimes it can have it doesn't look bad, right? Especially when it comes to meats. A meat may not look bad. You wash it off and it doesn't have a smell, right? It's not bad, but you pull it out the pack and it has and it smell and it's just stinking. Put that in the garbage. Don't put that in your mouth. You do not eat, right? Like if chicken's stinking, absolutely not. If like my husband likes to buy sandwich meats and then, I always smell them before I pull it out the pack. If that thing, if when you have stuff that's fresh, it's going to rot right away, right? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, it's out of here. It's out of here. So, when you smell it and it doesn't smell like it has a smell, then it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Some of us have a stronger stomach than others, but that doesn't mean because you can ingest things that are already rotting or rotten that that's not eating healthy.
all right. Next question: how do colors and ingredients And okay, so that she pretty much question. Um, well, I want to ask the question anyway, so I can answer for myself. Okay. How do colors and ingredients in finished dishes help you judge freshness, doneness, and preservation? So, for me, I'm gonna talk about colors in dishes. When you put certain colors in dishes, that opens up your senses to want to eat certain things. So basically, you are supposed to eat a spectrum of colors in your meals. So what that does, it sends a signal to your brain telling you that, uh, that's well, no. It sends a signal to your brain telling you that you want to eat that. That's why like certain colors of fruits are so enticing because it makes you want to eat it, like the vibrancy of the color. Not only does it let you know the ripeness of the uh fruit, vegetable, whatever it is, or even if you're eating like meat or something, it lets you know how fresh it is. Let's say that ripeness, because you want to eat things that are actually ripe and not underripe or overripe when you're having produce. So when you put like the right spectrum of colors together, it makes your meal just look so much more appetizing and enticing. And it's just that's a signal that sends to your brain like, yeah, this variety of colors is good, and that's actually correct. When you have a variety of colors like the different bell peppers, your leafy greens, your fruits, the different colors of fruits, the yellows, the greens, the blues, the purple, that is what you need to get a full spectrum of nutrients. And that's a signal sent to your brain like, okay, this is where the nutrients are in this. So you want to eat as many colors together as possible. And which is why this is also proven in science, which is why like a lot of when you go to the grocery stores, a lot of the unhealthy fun snacks are in packaged in really fun, vibrant, enticing colors. They draw you to them. And again, those colors send a signal to your brain that you know, hey, I want that, even though it's just the packaging. So it's just very alluring to the human mind, because that's how in nature it's supposed to be. That's how we're supposed to eat to get all of our nutrients. So just to let you know, that's the little mind trick that they play on you. They make the packaging of things colorful so that it tricks your mind into thinking that's healthy, that's good, I want to eat that. So it draws you to it. They're trying to mimic what we naturally, they're trying to mimic the nature of humans. So we humans are naturally attracted to. So when you are making your meals, you want to make sure that it looks just as good as it smells, and usually a colorful meal will do that. Next question, number 5. Why is understanding texture just as important as understanding flavor? This one we kind of already answered, but we can go into depth. I'm gonna go first this time. So the textures, everybody texture is different for everybody. I love dates and I like prunes. I know so many people that do not like dates or prunes because of the texture. I also love avocado. I know people who don't like avocado, not just because of the flavor, but because of the texture of avocado. So I find it pretty funny, like when people try a date for the first time and they just spit it out automatically because of the texture, not because it tastes bad. They can't get past the texture at all. So like, never mind the taste, the texture's bad. So when you're making things, some people might not want to eat your food if the texture is not right. So if it's too soft and soggy, or there's just different things, mushy. Certain things taste good mushy, but certain things do not. Like people will taste it, even if the flavor isn't bad, the texture will throw people off so badly that they're not gonna eat it. It's gonna be disgusting to them. So keep in mind. You have to say about that?
Absolutely, I'm not eating avocado. That mush is disgusting. Dates, that mush is disgusting. They mad sweet and mushy. You can get out of here with the mush. Okay. I'm not eating, and it goes the same. Like, I'm not gonna eat bread or biscuit or anything sopped up in no gravy that got all mushy. That's just it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. I'm not eating the mush. But I love some mashed potatoes.
Another one is French fries. When French fries are not like at the right texture, they just
Crispy French fries
nasty.
versus mushy French fries.
Not mushy, but like when it's supposed to be like crunchy and nice. Or I'll say like when she used to make liver when I was younger. She used to make liver, and this is back when I used to eat meat. So her liver used to always smell. It looked delicious. It smelled delicious. I could not get past the texture or the flavor from biting in. Like the outside that she seasoned tastes real good, but when I bit into it, that texture was disgusting. So was the just the liver flavor, just nasty, and I could not eat it. It was disgusting. So,
My liver not mushy.
hmm? No,
My liver is more firm. I don't eat with that blood coming all out on that nonsense. Like we're not doing that.
The liver was fine. There's nothing wrong with the liver.
Gotta
I
be
personally
flavorful.
didn't like it. Everybody else liked the liver. Everybody else did. I didn't like it simply because the liver itself was just nasty. Like the texture of the meat is just liver was just nasty to me. When I was younger and I used to eat meat, my favorite was steak, not liver. So, do you have anything to say about that? Let me.
Yeah, like a lot of, I mean, important things about texture. You know, a lot of things, as they're spoiling, their taste and their texture change. So, like one thing is grapes. I love grapes, right? Green and red grapes. I love them. But let them start to go bad. Oh my gosh, I can't eat no soft grape. That is disgusting. Soft grapes and like I have a daughter that likes hard kiwi. Is it she likes hard kiwi? Some people don't. I mean, like hard kiwi. Like kiwis are initially soft. Like you know, when they start off, they're hard and then they soften up as they ripen. And some people like them hard. Like some people like them hard. Some people like them mushy. I mean, you know, you don't want it mushy, but you want it softer. You should be able to squeeze a little bit. You should have a little squeeze, and that's also how you tell like the freshness of things. You know, a lot of fruits. Um, you know, either they should be firm or they should have like a little squeeze to them. Generally speaking, you don't want to eat fruits that are too soft. I think mangoes are one of the fruits that can be like a little bit more softer, like a little bit mango, a little bit more softer, but not because they can have a mushy texture also.
No, when it
Mangoes, they can tell
no when a when a if a mango is mushy, it probably already stinks from being rotten. So
not that far. Not that far. Like I wouldn't I'm not like I don't eat mango, but if I'm gonna have a mango, like especially like if I'm gonna make and that's another thing, when it starts to go bad and she eats those bananas with the black on them, goodbye.
There's
Bye
speckles.
with the black on the banana.
There's speckles. Eat your bananas with the speckles, okay? If you eat it before the speckles, it's gonna hurt your stomach. It has all of its nutrients. It's perfectly ripened when it's speckled, okay? That's what she's talking about. She's talking about the little speckles.
Yeah.
That's when you're supposed to eat it.
That's when it's already overripe.
No, it's not. That's when when it's actually ripe. If there's no spots on it, it's underripe. It's not ripe.
If it has like soft spots in apples, say goodbye. That's a rotten.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to that. You know, if fruits, you know, expect like fruits are for the most part, because those are things that you're not really gonna, you know, if you catch them fresh and you freeze them, that's one thing. But other than that, you really have to catch them like fresh. So that's really a lot of where the texture and color come into things, right? You gotta watch the texture on fruits.
So here's another question. I think this question is kind of complex. How do you decide which ingredients complement each other and which flavors should never be mixed?
Tuna fish and sugar.
Ew. What else?
And I keep saying tuna fish and sugar. I'm gonna tell you, because when she was little, she went in the kitchen. She thought she was cooking something, and she came back and she was like, "Mom, I made try this." The girl done put sugar and tuna fish. I almost like to spit it on the floor. It was so gross. I was like, no, you don't put tuna fish, sugar in the tuna fish. And then she tasted it. She was like, okay. And she was so cute.
I don't remember that, but if she says, I'll believe her. So let me tell you, you just remind me of something. Adrienne Bailon, she's a singer and actress. She was on the show called not The View. What was that? I forgot what show she was on, but basically she's on a show with like three or four other women, and she was saying how she would put she does this. She puts fruit punch. She takes this tuna fish sandwich and she dumps it and dips in her fruit punch and she eats it like that.
Nasty.
Yeah. But
Nasty.
good for her
Sounds
though.
like your brother.
Good for her. Good for her. If it makes you happy, good for her.
Yeah, definitely. We have different palates. People have different palates,
Yeah.
and let me tell you something. A good cook knows how to make food that fits almost all palates.
Yeah.
That's when you know. That's when you know when you're a good cook, because like when I got three kids, right? And of course, each one of them ate different. One ate everything like a billy goat. The other one didn't like this, and the other one didn't like that. And it was like, so one thing I had to learn to do, because I was not going to be making separate meals for everybody. One meal had to be suitable for everybody. So one thing I did was I made gravies and sauces for, to put over foods, right? And they liked it. And when you make a gravy and a sauce, you can also mix vegetables into this gravy and sauce. So if your kids don't like vegetables, you make it in a gravy and a sauce, and it goes over so much better. You can have a cheese sauce, you can have a brown gravy, you can have a white gravy. Make it in a gravy and a sauce. And some of them, and I have to tell you, some of the dishes I made, because I make like this steak with gravy that has spinach in it. You want to talk about something that looked like somebody just threw up on a plate? It looked disgusting, but they took it down without asking any questions, and they licked the plate clean. So delicious. Spinach just takes on anything. It's good with anything, and make a good gravy, make a sauce for something, and your dishes will go a lot further.
So when it comes to like flavors, a lot of things you can mix. But I'm gonna talk about when it comes to flavors. But I'm gonna talk about mixing certain foods. I'm best at knowing this when it comes to produce. So people think that you could just mix any old fruits together and just have it that way. No, you cannot, because it's gonna give you gas. It's gonna make you real bloated. And it's gonna give you a bad stomach ache. It can give you acid reflux. When you mix certain fruits together, it's not good. So there are different categories of fruits. There's acid, subacid, and then there's sweet fruits. So the sweet fruits would be like your avocado, your banana. Oh, not avocado. Sorry, your banana, your dates, and then But avocado is a fruit though. It's not a sweet fruit. It's a healthy fat. It's part of the omega 369 group. And so your sweet fruits are the bananas and the dates. Your sub acid fruits are your berries, um, like all berries. What else? Watermelon, and just all the melons, like mango would be subacid, and then you have your acidic fruits, which apples also have acid. Then your acidic fruits we know are oranges, a pineapple, um, I'll say grapefruit. We know what the citrus fruits are. The citrus fruits. You're not mixing oranges and bananas. You're going to get a really bad stomach ache. You're absolutely not trying to mix bananas, dates with pineapples. Pineapples and bananas, it can be okay, but you want to be careful with that. But definitely not dates. You cannot mix dates. Dates are way too dense, way too solid. They don't have like any really juice to them. So you're not mixing that with your acidic fruits. You're gonna mess yourself up so badly. And then sometimes I'll see people make smoothies where I have pineapple mixed with nuts, and that is horrible. You're really gonna be a pain. You're gonna mess yourself up so bad. You're gonna have to go to the hospital if you do that. So don't ever mix acidic fruits with nuts and seeds, or the sweet fruits. Like Bananas might be okay depending, but I wouldn't even go for that because you can really mess your stomach up. You still have a bad stomach ache. But definitely not dates and other like dense fruits like dates. You're not doing that. Even though the flavors may taste really good together, it's not going to be worth going to the hospital or giving yourself horrible cramps and bloating. It's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, and watermelon doesn't exactly mix with a lot of fruits either.
Mm-mm. You're not supposed to mix that.
Watermelon is just not one of those
Yeah.
mix all eat all
Yeah.
fruits. It's not.
I would say you can mix watermelon juice, juice the watermelon. You can mix the juices together, absolutely. But you're not mixing the fruit, the fiber of the fruit. So, like I said, even if it was to make a delicious flavor, the fibers together don't necessarily mix. Melons, you're not supposed to eat melons with anything anyway. You're supposed to just eat each melon, as its own mono meal. So keep that in mind. The next question is, what are some examples of ingredients that seem unusual today, but as actually creates a great flavor combination? Hmm. What are some examples of ingredients that seem unusual together, but actually create a great flavor combination? Unusual together. Do you have any ideas about that? Let's see. I mean, because I experiment a lot. Let's see. Great combination. Do you have anything to say about that or no?
So unusual together.
But make a great combination together.
You know what? I like when I'm making salad. When I'm making salad, I like to mix my salad dressings. I'll use a balsamic and a tomato, right? Or I'll make balsamic vinegar and I'll mix it. I'll even mix it with something, uh, maybe like even an Italian, maybe even an Italian. And then there's a lot of things that people like to eat, like um, that are strange, like like people put pineapple in dishes. Like for me, like um, okay, one thing. Oh, so I used to make um, ham shanks, like the sliced ham shank, right? I used to make that with orange juice. I mixed orange juice with honey and made a glaze with that, and they love that.
Mm-hmm.
Orange juice and honey on ham shakes. Now, when I grew up, we used to put my mother would put pineapple, put cloves, pineapple, and um, cherries, right? Not the maraschino cherries on the ham, and that always made a good glaze. But I used orange juice and um, and honey. Um, and if you watch I made stuffing. If you watch my stuffing, you'll see in my stuffing one of my secret ingredient in my stuffing is cheese. And if I mention that to anybody, they're like, "Oh my god, ew, that's nasty." Cheese.
Absolutely. Also on this channel, you can see that I use hummus, or tahini. I'll use hummus to make like my own vegan version of mac and cheese. And the hummus is actually cheese, so I'll put like nutritional yeast with the hummus. Only because I like the texture of it. It makes it like a nice, thick, creamy type of thing. And then adding the nutritional yeast makes it a little bit more cheesy flavor, and it's yellow, so it makes it a little bit, more yellow. So then when I put it together, to me, that's my mac and cheese. When I put it with chickpea pasta. So if you go to any grocery store, you can find chickpea pasta, and I'll put it with that. So that's the one thing that I do that can be a little unusual. And tahini, I pretty much do the same thing. Put it on my pasta, put it on pretty much whatever I want to put it on. Um, but yeah, like tahini and pasta, I'll do that, or hummus and pasta. What else? Uh, hmm, I would say I love this. Is doesn't seem weird to me, but some people might think it's weird. I like to put my fruit on certain things. Like I'll have fruit in my oatmeal, or I'll have like mangoes or cherries on my sweet potato. I also put like chocolate, cacao, not just any chocolate. I'll put like actually just cacao on my sweet potato. I have a video about that as well, and I'll mix it up so it'll be like chocolate sweet potato. So or chocolate oatmeal. I'll mix that up as well. So some people might think it's weird, but
You know,
to me.
what's really funny to me, like I think like, and I don't cook like this, is people put peanut butter in stuff they cook, and I'm not doing that. I'm not adding peanut butter to anything.
I used to eat peanut butter, but I stopped eating peanut butter because it's really, really toxic. So I use sunflower butter instead. But for peanut butter or sunflower butter, if like I said, I use sunflower butter now, but I will put that with whatever. Like oatmeal, I'll put it with the sweet potato. Yeah, I'll eat it with my dates. So, and that's another thing I do. I put oh, maybe I should try it. Anyone who likes dates, try dates with what is called ginger. It's like a ginger snap cookie. It's so good. And if you want to, you can put coconut shreds. So I would put coconut shreds, ginger, and a date, and just eat it like that.
Or you have to make a video on that.
Oh yeah, I should make a video on that.
Make a video on that. You guys can see what she does.
Yeah,
See
my little
how she
snacks.
puts it together.
Yeah, that's good. I could show that. And I'm also gonna show you guys some other things too that I don't want to talk about just yet. But stay tuned, more's coming. Next question would be,
Number 8.
hmm?
Number 8.
Yeah, how do you balance a five basic tastes sweet the how do you balance the five basic tastes? Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and
Man.
umami in a dish. I don't know what umami is, so I'm
I
not
don't know what an
gonna
umami is.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna speak on that. But I'm gonna tell you, personally, I am not a fan of like a sweet and sour. I'm not a sweet and sour fan.
Yeah, me either.
You know, I like sweet or I like sour. I like sweet and salty. Love that. Love the sweet and salty. Um, bitter. Mm, not big on bitter. But you know, so most things I make are, you know, are just like either on the salt side or on the sweet side. It might be like a little bit sweet and salty. I don't think I make anything that's bitter unless I'm eating, you know, grapefruit.
I can talk about the bitter.
Um, but that's generally how I do it. I'll do like a sweet and salty, or sweet and or like a spicy, like hot wings. Love some hot wings. My hot wings are the best. I'm gonna do a video on that too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give I'm gonna leak one video I'm gonna do right now. Well, not leak it, but I'm gonna show how I do a bitter, which is the one we just said about making the what's it called? The dates with the other ones. Okay, so sunflower butter, the one I buy is unsweetened, so that's bitter. And then the other bitter thing I use is cacao. Everything unsweetened because I want it in its purest, most organic form. So what I do to balance that out is that I'll put it with something extremely sweet, like banana or cacao. I'm sorry, like banana or dates or sweet potato. And then I'll also, if I want any more sweetness, to it I will put either maple syrup or agave. So that's how I handle the bitter. Um, as and here's another thing that I do where I just take the bitter down with no chaser, no sweetener, nothing. When I do my parasite cleanses, which I already done like three, so I'm not doing it anymore for a while. I put I've done 3 parasite cleanses, and what I did with those was just chug it down. That's it. That's all I could do. It was this. I cried through it. It's okay. I got it done. And that's what you do. When you got something bitter but it's healthy and you know you gotta take it for your health, you do it anyway. That's what you do. That's what I do. That's what you do too. You just take it down because it's not forever, it's temporary, and you just become the healthiest version of yourself. So yeah, that's how that goes with the bitter. Um, Other than that, you could take bitter things and make it sweet or salty. Um, oh, another thing to go back to the other question. Oatmeal, another weird thing I do with ingredients, salt with oatmeal. If you make your oatmeal kind of dry, like almost like you're cooking rice, you can have it as like a savory part of your dinner or something. Like I said, just make it a little bit more dry, almost like you're making rice, and put some salt to it. It's actually pretty good. And you could kind of make like a what's it called? A very healthy. It's not a very healthy thing. It's called beta glucan. Beta glucan is supposed to be an immune system booster. If you put mushrooms, especially shiitake or lion's mane mushrooms, like those mushrooms, shiitake especially, put that with oatmeal. I would say eat it savory because of mushrooms. I would not try to eat no sweet mushrooms. That sounds disgusting. But make it savory, and you just made yourself some beta glucan, which will boost your immune system. It's supposed to, and it also helps to prevent cancer. So keep that in mind. Beta glucan. Um, But salty and sweet, I'm not a big salty and sweet fan. Sometimes I like it, but most of the time I don't. I like to keep it separate. But when I am eating salty and sweet together, there's a chocolate bar, a vegan chocolate bar that I love to buy. It is like chocolate, vegan chocolate caramel, and it has these chunks, little chunks of salt in them. It is so good. So that's how I like that. And then also popcorn. I'll take like some salt, put it on the popcorn, and then I'll take like maple syrup or something. We also did a live. You can watch our live on that where I took some maple syrup, put it on the popcorn, and that was delicious. It's like a nice snack. So yeah, that's how I do that. And the sour, I took my sour with my salads, like or like lime, and I'll squeeze it all over my salads or all over my like rice with whatever I'm eating. Squeeze that on rice and stuff like that. But the sour, yeah, I would have to put it with something salty for sour. I never eat sour with sweet. I need it with something salty.
All right, let's move on. So how do you know when a dish needs another ingredient and when it's better to leave it alone? So you want to take it?
Okay, so um, I think that depends on your mood. To be honest, like what flavor are you going for? What taste are you going for? Something extra would be if you're looking for a specific taste, specific flavor, specific taste. Then you need to add more of that flavor that you want, whether it be sweet, salty, sour, whatever it is that you're looking for. Something tangy. Then you want to add whatever will give you that. Um, it's something that leave it alone. It tastes good already. It's good to go. Leave it alone. Enjoy your food. Move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. When you already had something and you're pretty much just trying to make the same thing at home, then um, you'll know if when it doesn't taste the same, then it's missing an ingredient. When it doesn't taste the same from when you originally had it, that's when it's missing an ingredient. When you have something that if you have something that you can always taste when you've overspiced something, when you've over seasoned it, because that seasoning itself will stand out too much. That seasoning will stand out too much, especially when it comes to salt.
Let's say
You put salt on something, you put too much, you're like, I hate that.
Yeah.
If you make it too sweet, it's like, oh my God, this is too sweet. And then you
Yeah.
could just find ways to tone it down. Generally speaking,
Yeah,
sometimes you
balance
can
it
just
out.
rinse it off or add some water and then pour the water off, and pour some of that flavor off. But it's easier to tell when you've over seasoned something. Like you can also over season something to the point that it has none of its main flavor. Like if I have chicken and I've over seasoned it, I'm not tasting any chicken. Like where'd the chicken go? I should be tasting some chicken here, right? So when you can't taste, the main part of the thing that you're seasoning, you've over seasoned it, well over seasoned it. You should always be able to taste the main part of the dish. If I have pasta and all I taste is seasonings, where's the pasta go? So I've over seasoned that pasta. Um, but when sometimes it could be, and if you have something that you just don't taste that particular season or flavor that you're looking for, it's just not hitting that taste, then like I said, when you learn how to what different things taste like on their own, you'll be able to tell what seasoning or what flavor is missing. You'll be able to identify it. And then once you do identify that seasoning, you want to put it in little by little, because you don't want to just go, oh, okay, I'll just add another spoonful, and then once you put it in, stir it in, you can't just take it back out like that. So you want to put it in light, and then till it gets to the point that it's perfect. And once it tastes, once you get that flavor you're looking for, like she said, you're looking for a specific flavor, a specific taste, then just stop. Just stop. You're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip number 10 because you answered that question. So I'm gonna go to 11.
Okay.
How can beginners train themselves to recognize the different herbs, spices, aromas without relying on recipes? We kind of already answered that. Do you want to say anything else about it? But
yeah, just taste things. Taste things one by one. Taste taste like ingredients one by one. On when you're fixing it, taste it. Before you put it on whatever you're making. Like if you're making some chicken, taste it before you put it on the chickens, and then put some on the chicken and see what it made the chicken taste like. Add another ingredient. Taste it before you put it on there, and then taste it once you put it in there. See how it changed the taste. That's you do that a few times, and you'll know, like, this is what it's gonna do. This combination, you'll know. Okay, I just added this and that didn't come out too right. I'm not doing that one again. You know, that's how you become a good cook. You learn the different flavors and how they affect the thing that you're cooking.
it says, what common mistakes do new cooks make when combining flavors, seasonings, or cooking techniques? I don't have an answer to that because I don't know what new cooks are doing, so I have no clue.
So what a mistake they do is, okay, so a big mistake is following directions, trying to follow directions to a T, right? Sometimes, like, my tablespoon might be bigger than your tablespoon. So when I tell you to add a tablespoon of this, you add your tablespoon, and it could, if my tablespoon's bigger than yours, it's not going to have enough. It's not going to have enough of the flavor. If your tablespoon is bigger than mine, you over flavor it. So sometimes you just gotta, look at the ingredients and then add, a little bit more, a little bit less. But once you add everything together and you cook it, the end product, you really think about, the different flavors and the end product, so you can pretty much tell, like, what you overdid, and like, for me, I have to cut back on this. Also, temperature, like when you're using a stove. Like, I know not everybody's stove doesn't get as hot as everybody's stove, right? So I can set my stove at 350 to bake a cake, and I can read a recipe and says set your stove at 350, and if my stove doesn't cook as hot as that person who wrote this recipe, I set mine for 350, and my cake might not get done. It might take, instead of taking 20 minutes, 25 minutes, it might take 2 hours, right? So you have to like monitor your food and taste things as you go along. Taste things as you go along so that you can really make sure you're not over seasoning, under seasoning, pouring in too much liquids, and all of that stuff. So don't just follow it to a T. Don't just follow a recipe to a T. Taste it as you go, and you can always, it's better to be able to add more than have over seasoned, over watered, or overdone anything. But you might not be able to take it back out.
What habits or daily practices would you recommend for someone who wants to continually improve their cooking skills? Mm,
Keep trying new things. Keep trying new things. I've been cooking since I started cooking at 7 years old. I'm like about 107 right now. So I have my cooking has changed through the years so many times. I've learned how to cook so many different dishes. My range is so vast. Um, but and that's a plus. You know, that's a plus. So just keep trying different things, different flavors and different ingredients, and and that'll help you really expand on what you're doing, and like hone and perfect, and help you grow your
okay, so someone
cooking
wants to
skills.
improve their cooking skills. One, get a teacher, professional to teach you. And if you ain't got no money for that, then just keep practicing. Buy the ingredients and keep practicing. You're gonna get better at some point if you don't give up. Taste your stuff. Like cooking is not something that I would say that no one can do. Anyone can learn how to cook. Anyone can. And for those who just can't do it, if you get a good teacher, you can. That's what I'm saying.
Just
So
try different things.
yeah, try different things. Um, you'll get there eventually. That's all I have to give. Last question: if you could give one piece of advice to someone who wants to become an exceptional cook, what would it be and why? Get a teacher. If you want to become an exceptional cook, because we're not giving skills for exceptional cooking, we're giving skills for beginner to um I would say average or slightly above average. Um, Someone who can put together good tasting meals. How you could get fancy with it, you could be on a budget. It doesn't matter.
A nice little variety.
Yeah, nice
For
variety. So
regular eat everyday eating.
if you want
on
exceptional
holidays.
skills, hire you somebody who know how to
Go to cooking school.
yeah. That's all I got for that. And why? Because we ain't exceptional cooks. We're great cooks. Well, she's a great cook. I'm a good cook, and that's as good as gonna get with us. And so we're giving you tips of cooking good meals for not just you, for everyone else. So when people eat your food, it's undeniably good.
And it's the basics. We're teaching you the
Yeah, the
basics.
basics.
Like if you can watch a lot of like cooking shows or whatever, and they're gonna tell you how to make a lot of things that we're not gonna tell you how to make, because
Yeah.
I'm not eating no flies and bugs
And nobody's talking about that.
and animals. We're
Nobody's
not
talking
doing
about
that, and that's we have a limited palate. We eat, being a non-meat eater and being a vegetarian, that has its limits, right?
So basically,
So-
like I was saying, we're giving you tips on how to cook well enough for you to enjoy your food and for other people to enjoy your
with
food
a nice
too.
variety.
If you eat with a nice variety, but if you want to be on professional level, you want to talk to a professional, not us. We're not the professional cooking channel.
We're not chefs.
We're not chefs. We are the fun, healthy, everyday person
Cooking good.
cooking well, who people who know how to season their foods and know, a little bit about the, science of cooking. Not big about science, just a little bit about it. And we have enough skills and enough knowledge to be able to help other people. So that's what we're doing. Not just helping, but just giving our own experience because we like to share for fun. So enjoy. That's what we're here to do. Enjoy. And any other questions? If we feel qualified to answer, we will. And if you don't like what we give, go somewhere else. But thank you for being here for those who enjoy us. And I hope you continue to enjoy our recipes and our channel.
And go to our store, aliveandthrive.store.
That's not even up yet.
It is up.
Okay. No, it's not on the channel.
I don't care. It's on live. Aliveandthrive.store.
And we're gonna put
Shop.
it in our
Teardrop.
we're gonna put it in our description, so you can go into the description and click on it. The link will be there. So yeah, just enjoy and let us know how you like everything. I hope you guys are trying out our recipes because we know that you're gonna enjoy them and they're good. So we'll see you in the next video and in the next live. Bye.
Bye.